Hello Amazon sellers, brands and everyone who is selling on Amazon US and importing from outside. This is a big topic for you and for us as an agency as well. It's tariffs and new import regulations. Today I will cover all the aspects related to this, meaning how much tariffs right now you should pay, what will be the new tariffs, what are all the specifications, and mostly speaking about China. As we know, most of the sellers are importing from China, and actually around 20-30% of all the Amazon sellers, 3P sellers, are actually Chinese ones. So let's dive into this. By the way, we have this cool platform for Amazon sellers which we formed as a community, and you can exchange your knowledge and learn from many interesting videos about how to sell on Amazon, how to scale your PPC campaigns, how to optimize for SEO, and how to optimize your images for the better conversions, as well as we have interesting videos on the logistics, on the VAT in Europe, and on opening account or dealing with the sales support. So there's always link below, feel free to join, and looking forward to see you there. The US has implemented 3 major changes for the countries like China, Mexico and Canada, avoiding them to ship at the previous import rates. So the most important that you need to know, it doesn't affect all the sellers. It affects specific categories. So the most important to say that 10% of tariffs will be placed for all the Chinese importers. However, there are additional tariffs that I will speak about, and they're only specific to the categories. The US Custom and Border Compliance has introduced 3 de minimis rules. First, it will be very strict followed that the imported goods does not affect the health of the US citizen. It will be tracked by the different methods, and actually bad manufacturers who don't comply or have some different cases or causes to the end consumer will be affected individually. Second, US will restrict aluminum and different metals for the imports, but it doesn't affect us as e-commerce sellers in most of the cases. Only if the metals like aluminum is in your product as a raw material. And the most important that right now the tariffs will affect roughly 200 or till 300 billion in sales, in annual sales of the Chinese importers, and 10% tariff will be in place. What we expect? We can expect that different competitors will increase prices, and you will see across different industries for roughly 10% to cover the margins. Then we can expect that many sellers will actually jump off Amazon marketplace as well. Maybe for some businesses already not doing well and they don't see any reason to continue, margins are tough and they don't see how to increase them, plus 10% tariffs, so they better leave. And of course for Amazon it's not interesting. Yes, Amazon cares about the sellers as well, and in this case I want to say that Amazon is trying to do a favorable solution for Amazon sellers to stay. For example, they try to reduce the prices, and recently I found the information that Amazon is lowering the fees per item for the large bulky size products, which right now have been approximately $0.58 per item for around 10-20%, and they're doing it across the different categories. Also, they will favor many new sellers and have more incentives for adding certain new selections in the store, and they will waive the inbound placement service fee for the new parent ASINs, which will be starting from December last year till March 31. And I think it's just like a short amount of time for Amazon to show that please only will have more incentives, just stay on our marketplace. As you know, for the last 2-3 years Amazon has only been increasing the FBA fees and referral fees as well, so it's something nice to see. Then besides the 10% tariff, you need to learn about the HTS code. This is the most important for you as an importer. Later I will speak to find out. For example, different agricultural products or car parts will be taxed at 25% from Canada, Mexico and China, which is a high number, which will be additional to 10% tariff. For HTS code, there are different regulations and different codes. For example, the code 301 means importing electronics. And if, for example, you import Bluetooth headphones from China, and for the value of, let's say, $600, you will pay $60 in tariff, but additionally to 10%, which is $60, you will also pay 7.5% for the electronics, which is around $45 in our example. But that's not it. There is also a shipment cost, which will be, and it was already before, and for the $600 items imported, it will be a one-time fee of $100, which every regulator, every importer should know. So here the biggest advice would be speak with your shipment company, with the freight forwarding company, or with the import regulation offices. They all know what is the tariff fee for specifically your product and for your category as well. What we also need to consider that custom clearance will take longer, and we need to consider it right now in our lead time. For the sellers who are importing, as I mentioned, from China, from Canada, from Mexico, it might take a couple days longer for items to arrive to Amazon FBA stores. Interesting that it also affects the vendor central and 1P sellers. First-party sellers will be affected, I would say, the most, because Amazon has a highest tariff and highest import percentage for these sellers. It will be 25% compared to other e-commerce players. For example, Revolve will have 22%, or eBay will have 11%, Etsy will have only 2% for the selling, and it's great, but not for the Chinese sellers, of course. Amazon 1P, first-party platform, Vendor Central, has a huge amount of sales right now. It's still half of the Amazon Marketplace revenue, and 25% of all the first-party sellers are actually Chinese at the moment. So in a conclusion, be prepared for the custom delays, understand your HTS codes, and do have additionally tariff to 10%, which is the standard one, and understand the forced labor compliance rule. This is what your importer or like a freight company should know, but this is something that Amazon and US in general will strictly take a look when importing your products into the border. So one last thing I want to mention is that European tariffs are not in place yet. So those who are producing or shipping from Europe, they're not affected yet. But as I see, Trump is saying, and there are a lot of different news around the net, that it might be 25% of all the goods imported from Europe. I don't think that it will happen. There definitely will be tariffs, but there will be tariffs based on the category and based on the different products. And let's see, right now by March 2025, we don't have any specific news. They're just different talks. We also know that it might be a bluff for the politics to speak about the big tariffs, to negotiate the better deals for Europe. We stay calm. I see many US sellers start panicking and start exploring and maybe already shipping to the European marketplaces to secure their business. And I want to say that it might take time for those new tariffs to come in. And in case we will see some interesting updates, we'll let you know and we'll share with you first. So thank you for watching, subscribe to the channel and follow us for more news.